Well, hi
It
everybody.
hurts.
Hi Christina. Hi Brandon. Hi Kay. We got. I think that's. I mentioned everybody who's talked so far. Yeah, I think so. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Lawrence and I are being goofy today, so get prepared for that.
Yeah. Brace yourselves.
Brace yourselves. There's a lot of things to mock in the media right now, so we've got a plethora of material we can work off of.
What are you drinking? That looks aggro. It looks like you're drinking aggro in a can.
Oh yeah, so I only drink energy drinks when I'm doing these live streams, or I'll drink a cup of coffee. This one is one I have had a few times now. It's Ultra Fantasy Ruby Red, whatever fucking flavor that is.
Ultra Fantasy Okay. I dig it.
I don't know.
I'm drinking Sour Strips Clear Protein from Ghost.
Sour Strips Clear Protein from Ghost.
Yeah, so there's this brand
Gotcha.
Ghost that's, what all the bros use up at the gym. And the flavor is sour strips. Like, it's not actually a flavor. It's basically just like citric acid and like purple dye.
Yeah, it's exactly. What flavor is Ruby Red? You know what I mean?
Right. It's not Ruby Red grapefruit. It's just Ruby
Nope.
Red. It's like
Yep.
if you could squeeze a ruby and drink the sweet juices from the ruby. Yeah, so that's what I'm drinking because I'm going to the gym in a little bit, and I gotta get my protein and blah 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 blah.
So it's a pre-workout.
Well, I'm using it as a pre-workout. Yes, I'm doing the keto diet, Kenyon.
Oh,
I'm eating nothing but fat and protein. I've lost 20 pounds, which
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome, man. Good job. Congratulations. Good work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lost 20 pounds. I'm going to the gym. I'm doing a bunch of cardio. I'm doing a bunch of lifting and everything. And so yes, I'm drinking my protein.
See, I'm a spoiled brat for exercise. Like, we went into the mountains on Sunday, and man, I can spend all day just like running up mountains, and like catching my breath and stuff. But like, if I have to go out and go for a walk on the street here in the city, I'm like, oh, I don't want to. It's the worst.
Yeah,
I'm just a fucking brat, dude.
Yeah, like, get me outside in like a beautiful trail or something, no problem. But like, oh, I've got to walk 3 blocks to go to, no, forget it. Of course,
yeah.
I'm living in Indiana, right, where the idea of suburban sprawl is still, fully embraced. And so they're like, sidewalks to connect your neighborhood to the next neighborhood? What are you talking about? Why wouldn't you just get in your car?
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I grew up. There was no sidewalks at all in the town I grew up with. Not a single sidewalk in the entire town.
Right. So you got that Shel Silverstein book Where the Sidewalk Ends, and you were like, I don't even know what he's talking about.
I don't. Yeah. I didn't even know where it is. I was like, is this book about Elk City? And then he also did another one I love. It's one of my favorite poems still. Nobody Loves Me.
Nice. I don't know that one.
I'm not going to do the whole thing, but it goes like, nobody loves me, nobody cares, nobody picks me peaches and pears, nobody has my back in a fight, nobody kept me safe at night. And then it gets to the end, and you realize that nobody was like the name of like the person that was taking care of him. So It wasn't actually saying that nobody cared, it was saying that nobody as an individual cared.
Right.
So it's sweet little poem.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm not sure if I'm like framing up correctly, if I'm veering in and out of camera, we're just.
I know you got that little strip there. It expects you to like try to like kind of manage your everything inside of.
You ever played like one of those video games where it's got like like an interstitial task you've got to do, like before you can move on, you've got to like, hack the lock or something, and it's always about like, keeping something with, like, don't touch the sides. It's like Operation, but in a video game. And I feel like I'm losing. This entire thing.
Well, that's I can see it fine. My camera last week so I have a AI camera. It's a Life 360. No, not Life 360. That's a different thing. It's a it's an AI camera and it's got 360 in the name. But
Right.
it'll sometimes it does face lock on. So then like I move anywhere I move, it's supposed to follow my face, but it kept on like drooping on me. And so like I kept on like doing this.
Nice. Nice.
Finally I got it to shut off with some hand gestures and stuff, but took a while.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one with the hand gestures, right? Is there
Yep, yep.
this is
Yeah.
shut
Yeah.
off.
So I'm not gonna do them or it'll start reacting.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah. No, you're
but
using it right now.
you hold your hand up flat like the palm of your hand, and then that is supposed to turn on the facial following feature. And then you once the features are on, you can do like this and this to zoom in and out. So yeah, it's there's a couple other things I haven't memorized, but I've never really used it for the most part. The few times that I have tried to use it, it ended up just like fucking up the shows that I was doing. So
Yeah. Am I crazy or have you like done a whole refurb on your broadcasting space? Like, did
yeah,
you paint a purple wall and put up shelves and like a Harry Potter clock or something behind you? What's
yeah. So yeah, it is actually kind of a cool clock. It all these like sections like spin on the hour, and then it sings music.
nice?
And then yeah, the wall I painted a while back, but I put up
Right.
shelves,
This is
and then I've got
KR
oh,
Byers Purple. Yeah, that's
yep.
what they call it at Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah, yeah, it is actually. It's my own special brand of purple. They have it on stock all the time just for me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so then yeah, I've got quite a few other things. I've got I don't know if you'll know who this guy is, but maybe somebody will.
Oh, Ronald McDonald from McDonald's?
No, it's All Might from My Hero Academia, which is a really really fun anime.
Nice. Nice.
Got a lot of good messages in it, good positive messages.
Excellent. I knew it wasn't Ronald McDonald. I just want to let the audience know that I'm not actually that stupid. I just didn't know who it was for real.
Hey, it's as good as a guess as any, man. I mean, similar colors, kind of.
Yeah, Uh so hey, did you see the thing about Tallarico on Colbert last night? I'm kind
Yeah,
of stuck on this, right?
yeah, it's kind of crazy. It is actually kind of strange that he had to like post it on his YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and everything in order for it to even air because what was it? CBS wouldn't even do it.
Yeah, so basically like the dude who's in charge of the FCC who, is a total Trump bootlicker, uh wrote a letter last week saying like, you guys, I'm kind of thinking maybe that we shouldn't let candidates on talk shows, okay? PS, right-wing radio still a-okay. Just liberal candidates on liberal talk shows, maybe not. And like it was just a letter, right? Like I'm thinking of
Yeah,
doing it. And CBS and Barry Weiss and whoever the fuck over at CBS was all like, "Oh no, this is very serious. We should do this. We should comply." And so the attorneys told Colbert, like, you can't have him on. You can't talk about it. You can't show his picture. You can't talk about how you're not allowed to have him on."
yeah,
And so Colbert, who is basically like, you guys fired me, right? Like I'm working out the
yeah.
last year of my contract. Um, I'm gonna fucking talk about it anyway, and then
Hmm.
talked about it, and then put him on his YouTube channel, which was great.
Yeah. It's like, what are you guys gonna do? Double fire me? I mean, if they breach the contract, he probably gets a massive fucking payout.
Exactly,
So
right? I totally.
yeah,
I honestly, I think if they'd been like, okay, well, you're done, you're not broadcasting anymore, he'd be like, great, I'm gonna take my $50 million payout and go start a YouTube channel that's all about how CBS sucks dick. Okay, so there you go.
yeah, yeah. He'll be over here on Substack in no time at all.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I saw that. I saw the video of it. I didn't watch the whole interview between them, but I saw him talking about it and then him bringing the guy out and discussing that with them. And that's insane to me. I don't know what justification they could even think to have for not allowing political candidates on talk shows. What are they trying to like say the importance or relative, why? It doesn't make any sense.
yeah. I mean, like it's a bit of a technicality. So what they're saying is that candidates appearing on talk shows doesn't violate the Equal Time Act, which essentially says that if you've got one candidate on a talk on something on it, like an ad or whatever, you have to give equal time to the opposing candidate. And, and that's a disincentive for the broadcasters because, the broadcasters have a public license issued, like it's our airwaves that we grant them through the FCC. And, so the broadcasters have to do whatever the FCC says. And they don't want to give away a bunch of free airtime. So they don't want to ever like have a candidate on and then also have to grant equal airtime to all the other candidates who are running in that race. It's like a money losing proposition for them. I don't know if you know this, but the broadcasters are all about the money. It turns out they're not about education or the public good or anything nice. It's just about the money.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, basically, by saying that this no longer applies to talk shows, they basically were saying that he couldn't do it. So
It sounds like a bunch of tomfoolery to me.
it is shenanigans and tomfoolery. Yes. Yeah. Some tomfoolery, huckfinnery. Yeah. No, it's bad. It's all the 20th.
Could you imagine if that bullshit like applied to like us as well, like being internet broadcasting and stuff like that? If we had to like every time I had like someone like you on, I had to have someone exactly on the opposite end of like the political belief system.
Right. Who would that even be? Like, who could you get who is as straight as I am gay and as dumb as I am smart?
Oh, I live in Idaho. There's a plethora of them.
That's true. That's true. Although I don't know, man. I've driven through Idaho with my apps on, and there are plenty of DL gay guys in
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. The amount of people in this state that tend to somehow end up talking about what people have in their pants is astonishing, to say the least. It's like, wait, why are you worrying about what that person has in their drawers there, pal? Like, you sitting there fantasizing about it, and I just chewing out their nails. Just what the fuck is in that fucking person's pants?
Yeah. No, it's yeah, that's always been fascinating to me. Like I'm pretty, I've read the Bible. Like I, grew up Jewish. I read the whole Old Testament part and then I read the New Testament part. And yeah, I don't remember anybody anywhere pretty much saying anything about like, thou must checketh the pantaloons of whomsoever uses your bathroom to determine that they are the gender. I don't know what the fuck ever, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, thou shalt only use thy bathroom thou was born to.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you read it and the next page is like, but this is 2000 of your years ago and we don't have bathrooms. We're
Yeah,
lucky if we're pissing in a pot in the
yeah.
room that the rest of our family is in, like
Yeah, and then dumping it out the window, yeah.
right on the passersby. Totally.
Thou shalt only use thy pot that's labeled for them.
Right. Right.
Stupid. They wouldn't even given a shit. For most of our human species, like nobody gave a shit of where anybody went to the bathroom. Like they just knew people have to go to the bathroom. It's gonna fucking happen. It's not pretty, and they just get it done with. And
Yeah.
now, like all of a sudden, we are just obsessed with. I'm like, make them all gender neutral bathrooms, you guys. Like that's the ones I prefer to go use anyways, because I don't like thinking that's like someone's like standing behind me, like almost like it feels like breathing down my neck, waiting for me to get done at the urinal.
Yeah.
I'm like,
For
fucking
sure.
get the fuck away from me, bro. Like,
So Seattle Tacoma International Airport, which you may or may not be familiar with,
I don't
they've
think I've ever
actually
been through that one.
they've in some of the whatever concourses they've put in gender neutral bathrooms instead of traditional men's and women's bathrooms. It's
Mhm.
so fucking easy, man. Like
Yeah.
you walk in, there's a gigantic line of stalls, that go all the way up and down, right? So nobody's gonna like accidentally toe tap their foot under your stall while you're
Yeah.
pooping. And with big full doors that lock and blah blah. And then there's a giant bank of sinks. And then if you want, around the corner there's urinals, right? And it's just like it's just cool. Like it's just
Yeah.
easy. Like you go in, you do whatever, you wash your hands, other people are washing their hands.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if the person who sits on the seat after you is male or female, you
Yeah,
know.
it
I
doesn't
mean,
matter. Yeah, exactly. Now there was an Idaho politician here. She took videos of like the bathrooms, the outsides and stuff. She didn't, take pictures inside, obviously, or video. She did video, trying to point out how like obnoxious it is, and like it was funny watching the right wingers try to like scramble to come up with ways to agree with her because it was so clearly just fine. There was nothing fucking wrong with it.
was she complaining about gender neutral bathrooms?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They throw fits about anything that is not staunch right wing here in Idaho, but they're ruining the state, dude. Here just 2024, no, 2023, we had a surplus in our state. We were one of the only ones with a financial surplus in our state, right?
Right.
We were in debt. We were doing good, because of good leadership. Well, these extreme far right wing losers have come from all over the country to move to Idaho. In the last 10 years or so, our population in the state has increased by about 40%. And about 80% of those are from California. And so, roughly, 30% or, 30% of the increase of our state overall is right wing nut job Californians.
Right.
And they've used this fear tactic, which is just ironic. You don't want to bring California to Idaho, you guys. You don't want to bring California to Idaho. Keep California out of Idaho. Like all these slogans that are like that. And coincidentally, now it's estimated that next year we will be about $555 million in the hole.
Oh my God. $500 million?
Yeah, dude, from a surplus to negative in less than a fucking decade because they're losers who have no clue how to run a goddamn state at all. None.
Right.
They're
Right.
fucking idiots. So they brought California here because California is also always in debt. So it's like seriously, you guys, and like there's those of us, there's people like we text each other and we try to like correlate our efforts. And I was more on board with trying, but now I'm on an instant block list. They have a list of people in Idaho, citizens in Idaho that are troublesome individuals, and I'm on the immediately block when you see lists. So if you're a
Oh
right
shit.
winger that has access to that list, you just know to immediately block me. So I'm blocked by like 90% of Idaho politicians right now. So I can no longer contribute to that cause like I used to. And my thing is I would just ask them questions, and it drove them fucking nuts. They fucking hated it because they can't answer them.
Yeah.
They're idiots. They are literally idiots.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in Indiana, right? Like I moved home to be near my family, and it is interesting to be, to go from living in Seattle and LA, where I was, very well represented as a liberal member of society by all the, levels of government. And now I'm in a place where I'm like, oh, right. Yeah, there's not anybody in any level of government here who represents me because, you know, according to them, I'm cuckoo banana pants and don't deserve representation.
Yeah, well, and especially like because you are gay and you're also Jewish, I can't imagine you're in like a thick like Jewish territory either by any means. Like,
Surprisingly not. Yeah, no. Fort Wayne is actually known for the number of churches of various denominations that they have here, which, yeah, it's interesting, right? Like growing up as a Jewish person in America, I grew up in South Florida,
yeah,
and which is very Jewish. And, I remember kind of learning like that Jews are only like 1.5% of the population of the United States. And I was like, that's impossible. We're everywhere, like,
yeah.
in South Florida, like it was true. But yeah, but then like learning all about Christianity and like the various I don't know, what do you call it? Like the sects of
Yeah,
Christianity, the
denominations.
Protestants
Yeah.
versus, yeah, denominations, Protestant, Catholic, and, not just Protestant, but this kind of Protestant and evangelical, who's what's it Protestant. And, and like some of those hate each other, like hate each other, like more than, I don't know, Muslims and Jews are supposed to hate
Oh
each
yeah,
other, right?
Catholics hate Protestants and Protestants hate Catholics for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah. Oh, look, somebody named Hirut says, I don't look Jewish at all, which is that a compliment,
What the
Hirut?
fuck does that even mean?
Seriously. It's because I keep my horns filed down. Actually, that's a part of my daily maintenance program. I do the skin moisturizer and I grind my horns.
Good God, I don't. That's like telling someone like you don't look like. I don't know, man. That's just
Right.
a
Hey,
fucking
can
silly
you
thing.
do I
Like,
look gay?
yeah.
Do I look gay
Well,
or Jewish?
the shirt a
I'm a
little
double
bit,
pass,
but that
man.
I love it. I actually was digging your shirt. Speaking of that, like I fucking love like colorful things. Obviously, you can tell I got my pink shirt on and stuff today. That is
Love it.
fucking awesome. What does it say though? I can't read the second word.
It says fuck Trump.
Ah,
So I
yes.
made I made this. I made this shirt. I did a series of these shirts where they're like really busy, and one of them is like springtime. It's like flowers and all kinds of stuff. And then in
Yeah.
like a light green, it says fuck Trump. And so when you're looking at the stems of all the flowers and everything, you're kind of like, oh hey, look, fuck Trump. And then there's
Oh, that's
another one
cool.
that's autumn, and in brown it says fuck Trump. And and so this one is my like rainbows and unicorns and kittens, fuzzy kittens, fuck Trump.
So did you buy where did you buy that from?
Uh Me, I bought it. So I have a store called alpacalunch.com. That's alpacalunch.com.
Sweet.
And I sell t-shirts. I design and sell t-shirts. It's just like a little Shopify store that I have.
Oh, do you use Adobe Illustrator?
I use Illustrator and Photoshop and Adobe Express. Yeah.
Sweet. That's awesome, man. Like I just a couple of years ago started to get into the Adobes and really wish I would have done it way sooner, but I still just like I mess around with Adobe and post shirts and stuff and I make like $20 here and there. It's usually
No, exactly.
most of it's
Yeah.
fan art.
I'm not making a bunch of money off of it, but I'm making shirts that I want to wear, and so like I'm my
Yeah.
best customer. Like I'm basically the one who buys all of my shirts.
That's cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make all the logos and stuff for Mouthy Renegade Rider.
Nice.
So any of the stuff you see of his profile picture, his logos on his banner, everything he uses like that, I've made all of those pretty much.
Yeah. Is that why they're all so bad? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke. Jesus Christ. You people are so
Bad as in
sensitive.
badass? Yeah, of course, bro.
Yeah. No, that's what I meant. I meant badass. That's totally what I meant.
That's funny. So he says, the Harut says, I am a black Jew. And then he said, you are handsome, just so you know.
All right. Well, I mean, Harut, I'm single. And, my only requirement is, can you hammer a 6-inch spike through a board with your penis? And if you can say yes to that, then hit me
Fair.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's,
a guy's got to have his standards, right? Like,
yeah, that's not a real unrealistic expectation at all.
no,
No.
I'm setting some moderately ambitious expectations. And, Harut's not a man. So,
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm sorry you're out. I'm what they call KR. I don't know if you know about this. I'm a gold star gay.
Gold Star gay. What is that?
You don't okay. So the last vagina I ever saw was my mother's on the way out.
Oh, so like unicorn for lesbians.
I've literally never seen a vagina as an adult
Okay.
in person, because I've never had sex with a woman.
So
Yeah.
before you ever did anything with anyone, you knew who you were.
Oh yeah. No,
Gotcha.
okay. Kay Hagemeyer is my new favorite person in the world because she gets that I just quoted Real Genius. So thank you, Kay. I feel very seen. Kay, who is probably a Gen X peer of mine, I'm going to guess. Yeah. No, like in high school, I mean, here's the thing, right? In high school, like I had all these women friends and they were all beautiful and smart and amazing and incredible. And, my mom was always like, why aren't you dating Dana? Why aren't you dating Heather or Belinda or Melissa or Jen or like any of these 900 beautiful, smart women? I was just like, I don't know. Like I'm waiting to find the right one. Turns out the right one had a penis. So
You weren't after Jenny, you were after Jack.
That's right. That's right. I was not so much going for any of the cheerleaders as much as I was for the quarterback. That's right.
See, I knew at a young age that I was definitely different than the guys around me because they all were obsessed with cars. And now I know about cars and I love cars. And I had a few years of my life, a good decade or more, where I was obsessed with them as well. But being a little kid and stuff, I wasn't. I was obsessed with girls and the things that they played with. Like I would love to go play with them and their Barbies and their dream houses. And I would try to play dress up, but that was incredibly shunned and frowned upon. And so, like,
Yeah.
and I've never felt like I was like anyone other than who I am. Like I feel like I'm, Kenyan. I'm happy with my body for, the most part, but but I just I like pretty colors, I like pretty things. I very much love the fact that, women wear these just gorgeous dresses, and that's like my first thing. Like I see a woman like walking with a dress, and like you'll see my head like snap to turn at her, and I'm all rubbernecking, but I'm not actually even looking at her. I'm admiring her fucking gorgeous dress and her hair and the way it flows and stuff because,
Yeah.
you know, dudes without being trans or a cross dresser, you really can't. There aren't dude dresses. You know what I mean? Like,
Right, right. Like, I mean, a dude dresses a tuxedo, and
yeah.
those are notable in that they all look exactly the same. Like, that's
Hmm.
the whole point of a tuxedo is you're supposed to look fucking identical.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's
Whereas a
boring.
beautiful
Dude, guy
dress
stuff
is
is
like
boring.
you could look like anything.
Yep, exactly.
How do
Yeah.
you
Yep.
feel about drag? Like, not you doing it, but like, how do you feel about seeing drag and like the art of drag and all that stuff?
Oh, I've always greatly admired the individuals who do that. One for their bravery to do it, and one because they end up looking incredibly gorgeous sometimes.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, some of the clothes that they come out and wear. I love the drag that I can admire the drag that is more of the extensive features where you do the exaggerated makeup and stuff like that. But I
yeah,
also like drag where they just dress up, like a woman or in more of a feminine style, rather not like a woman, but in more of a feminine style and just wear normal makeup, all of it. I
yeah.
love some of the outfits I've seen in at in those types of shows and in the community and stuff in my
Yeah,
life.
yeah. No, I'm super into it too. You know what I've really gotten into thanks to the addiction of the internet and the, time suck that is things like Instagram, those videos where like women are putting on makeup and it's like a really radical transformation, like they
Hmm.
wake up, and they're like getting out of bed and, they don't have any makeup on, their hair is all crazy and everything. And you're like, oh, that's like a normal person. They have like a little age spot or a pimple or whatever. And then they
Yeah.
like do the whole like fast forward thing. And, at the end, like, she's like a supermodel, and it's like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah, those are cool.
yeah,
I've gotten in I've dived into some of those videos too, and, when, my girlfriend and I used to sit there and watch, TikTok together all the time, we haven't so much lately or whatever, but, uh, we would dive into those as well because yeah, some of those are really, really cool.
yeah.
They borderline on, like, it starts to lead into the videos where you'll have, them like, do part of their face in, like, Hollywood makeup to where it's like it looks like it's, like, a completely different person. So then they, like, face like this, and half of them is, like, looks one way and the other half looks it's though that's really cool, man. Some sick talent.
Yeah. No, I love it. There was a show for a while called, oh god,
Face Off?
uh, well, there's Face Off, which was amazing, but that was almost more about, like, prosthetics and, like, the
Yeah.
full thing from, no, there was one, it was, like, on the whole RuPaul Drag Race network thing that they did, World of Wonder. It was, I think it was called Painted with Raven, and Raven is, like, one of the famous early first queens on Drag Race. But it was all about just the makeup, right? Like not prosthetics or anything like that, but just like, beating a face. And
Mhm.
it was, yeah, no, it was amazing. Like seeing what some of
Yeah.
those people could do, like just with makeup.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool. There's definitely some people out there that have spent a lot of time, honing that skill, and I can definitely respect it because that's some serious effort and work.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So you're into aesthetics, like you like beauty. When is your birthday?
June 3rd,
All right. What does that make you? Gemini?
Gemini.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I was so
my whole theory is shot. Next topic.
No, your theory's kind of on point. I always thought like I'm not like too big into that stuff, but I do have like some level of knowledge and understanding of it. And obviously, like Gemini's the twins,
Right.
so I figured that one of my twins are guy and girl is what I kind of always figured.
Yeah. Do you know what your rising sign or your moon sign are?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was going to go with this whole theory that, maybe there's strong Taurus energy, and Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is all about beauty and art, appreciation and aesthetics. But, uh, but fuck that, Kenyon. You just completely, that's cool. That's cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah, Gemini is, multiple personalities, and so I've always, felt that, and so that's one part of the being Gemini that's always, rung true for me as an individual, is I definitely have the part of me that is more, feminine, and I consider that probably the better part of me, honestly. It's the more rational part of my nature, and then the masculine part is the one that spent, a good portion of our life, partying and chasing tail, and
Right.
that's all I cared to do, and it just a waste of time. And so the feminine's more thought out, likes pretty things, likes calm, nature, and masculine likes power tools, cars, and all those types of things.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I dig it. I kind of feel the same way. Like I've definitely got, masculine and feminine sides. And I mean, for me as a gay dude, that means some different things. But like, I generally think, generally speaking, I'm kind of like, okay, the traits that I think people would traditionally consider feminine, those are my better qualities for sure.
Yeah,
Like I'm sensitive and pretty empathic, and I like, connecting with people and understanding where people are coming from. And, just like the stuff that isn't necessarily rewarded as masculine, right? Or like when you're
yeah,
growing up as a little boy, like those aren't the traits that you're recognized for. Like no
right.
one's like, that's my son. He's so sensitive. He cries at the drop of a hat, man. Like that little guy just feels everything. Like
Yeah,
dads
yeah.
don't generally aren't doing that. Oh no, that fucker, he'll punch anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I, around 13 or so, before 13, I was more, I'd say, more sensitive and stuff like that, and I really did not belong in the damn town I grew up in at fucking all. I should never have been there. I was not a place for someone like me, so but,
Fucking Elk Point,
yeah, oh, yeah, Elk City.
Elk City.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just, oh man, just loggers and miners and just real men's men, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, they didn't understand me at all, so I was just a mystery to them, still am, but, when I hit 13, I had spent from, like, 9 years old, I had been, horse logging and doing firewood and stuff like that, and so I was strong, I was very strong, and I started realizing that I could actually keep up and beat the guys that had picked on me my entire life, so I enjoyed a good God freaking 20 years of just mopping the floor with the real manly men and then being like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I wear pink and have long hair, so fuck off."
Right. Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Who's the bitch now?
Yeah, I used to love to go to parties because I'm not like super huge or anything at all by any means, and so, but I'm way stronger, or I was way stronger than I looked, and so I would love to go to parties, and I would find like that big like Chad type you could tell spent
Oh,
like a
yeah.
good 25 hours at the gym a week, at least, and I would challenge him to arm wrestling, and I would just, oh man, I just love smoking him, and it almost always turned into a fight where I got to beat up a Chad, and that was. See, that's what I'm saying. That's the masculine
Right,
Kenyan.
right. Yeah, no, that
That's the asshole that just likes to go out and stir shit for a chance to, get into a fight to show off for girls is what it always really was.
right, right. And then after that, you're like, "Ah, now I want to go home and make some tea and read a book."
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Right?
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so pumped. Let's go read some books.
Yeah, I was like the only guy that was like that would also be like, but also I've got a book I ordered, so I'm gonna go home and read that now.
Right, right.
So,
Yeah. No, I kicked your ass, but I'm really excited. This book I've been wanting, it finally showed up. So yeah, I'm gonna go have a nice maybe like a chamomile or like a rooibos or, a nice tea like that and read the book.
yeah, I like, green tea and chamomile with just a little bit of, milk sometimes, that's nice too.
Yeah. No, that is excellent. Yeah, Brandy says our society needs to read more, and yeah, like seriously, truer
Yeah,
words have never been spoken.
for sure. Absolutely. We've had quite a few comments. I've been trying to read them, but uh yeah, color is beautiful and should be enjoyed. Yes, Robin, I completely agree. Um, Showing off for the girls? Question mark. I'm not sure what. Yeah, showing off for the girls. Yes, it was. Yeah, girls where I grew up liked guys that they consider could protect them, which meant a lot. Like one girl in particular, I won't say her name or whatever, but she literally started as she got older dating guys that were still in prison because for whatever reason her brain told her that if you had been to prison you were strong and could protect her.
Oh boy.
I never understood that, but it yeah, she
If
has an
they're in
interesting one.
prison, they can't do anything for you because
Yeah.
they're in prison.
Yeah. Exactly. But even when they get out, most of those types of guys, it's not like you get in prison and it's just like a nonstop cage match or something. You know, you're not fucking in, not everybody who's in prison is pumping iron all day every day, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Right.
you
I'm just
generally work
saying, if
out
you
more, but
get thrown in prison because of, your meth habit, then like when you come out, you're probably gonna do meth again. Like I
yeah.
don't know. There's just not a lot of logic there.
Yeah, no, I have myself as
Fucking
an
Darlene.
individual.
She didn't know what she was talking about. God damn it.
I myself have never met someone who has been to prison and actually came back out and did better long term.
Right.
Um, maybe one. I'm thinking of one person. Um, that's it. I can only think of one. Everybody else I've ever known, and I've known quite a few because of the groups I used to hang out with. They always ended up reoffending every fucking time.
Yeah.
That's what made when I got a felony for marijuana. It's been dismissed now. Just last year I got it dismissed, but I got a felony for
Nice.
having weed, and that was my goal. Is I was like, okay, I'm done with this lifestyle. So I literally cut off like all the friends. I'd seen all the mistakes that they'd made all the years, going back and hanging out with the same fucking people in the same fucking neighborhoods, doing the same dumbass shit. And I'm
Right.
like, okay, well, I see the code is that you have to quit. You have to quit your friends, you have to quit these groups, you quit being a thug, and you actually just put your nose down in a book, and that's exactly what I did. And so my
Yeah.
life is far less exciting, but I also feel more safe for the most part.
Yeah. No, I mean, and good for you, man. Like that takes a certain amount of wisdom to be able to like look at that pattern and be like, oh, I actually know what I need to do here. It's hard. Like saying goodbye to all your friends is a fucking hard thing to do,
Mm,
or not say goodbye, just ghost and be like, peace out. I'm never coming back. But
yeah,
yeah, no, that's really fucking hard. So good for you, man.
thank you.
It's also kind of a kick in the nuts that, then basically like legalization of weed kind of swept the nation every place except Idaho. And I mean, I is weed legal in Idaho now? Like,
No.
okay, yeah, I didn't
No,
think so.
there's a group trying to get it medicinally and stuff, and one of the head people in it, Joe Evans, is a friend of mine. I had him on the Meridian one time. My talk showed this.
Yeah,
This still all gets posted on the Meridian on YouTube, so this is technically we're on the Meridian show right now still.
nice.
Um, but yeah, he is very high up in the group to be able to do that, and yeah, so I still sign everything, but I don't even smoke weed anymore, man. Like that even doesn't it's not worth it living in a state where I could reoffend because I
Yeah,
have a fucking joint, you know? It's
yeah,
just
yeah. No, it's I mean, it's dangerous, right? Like I lived in Washington State for 30 years. Washington State was one of the first with Colorado to legalize.
yep.
And you know, I'm such a goody two shoes that I literally didn't smoke weed until it became legal in Washington. And then I smoked a bunch and kind of discovered that actually my lungs don't like smoking, and so that edibles were better for me. And like I experimented with a lot of edibles and shit. But now being here in Indiana, like when I moved back here, I was unpacking and I was like, oh shit, I've got like 60 weed gummies, that were like in this box that I had packed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess technically these are illegal here now, like
Yeah.
so yeah. Uh if anyone in Indiana authorities is listening, please don't raid my home. I got rid of them, I swear.
This
Yeah.
is all just alleged to elaborate a point. None of this is real
This
or
is
should be
all
taken
hypothetical
serious.
for educational purposes. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. No, it's once so I got 5 years of probation. I did a little bit of time in jail. I didn't go to prison. Luckily, I managed to stay out of prison. Um but I did do some time in jail, but when I got off of probation, and I did my probation like a good boy. I even got off just a little bit early because of good behavior and stuff. So, but the first thing I did when I got off is the day after I got off, I jumped in my vehicle and drove to Washington and bought weed. I
Nice.
was like, I want to know what it feels like to buy it legally after fucking just spending the last like 7 years of my life worried about this weed charge.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, good for you, man, for like changing your life like that. It sounds like it was a really smart decision for you.
You wanna know the craziest thing? This
Of
is
course.
something like, if you ever end up, knowing someone that has lived a little bit of a thuggish life, this is some, like, little piece of empathy you could have for them. I never walking through, like, you know, the hood and stuff where people were legitimately dangerous. I mean, there was convicted murderers and bad people, right? Drug dealers and stuff. Even in Idaho, we've got dangerous people, and I mean, I was in a drive-by once, right? I still went back to that house where the drive-by happened and partied later on. I feel more anxious and scared walking through the suburban neighborhood I live in now as a result of being with my partner and everything,
Mhm.
um, than I ever did walking through the bad neighborhoods that I grew up in and around. Like I feel so out of place. I feel like they even though I dress different and I try to present myself in a different manner, my language and voice and how I even speak has changed.
Right.
I still feel like they all are looking at me like that little thuggish son of a bitch. Lock the fucking door, honey.
Right, right. And and it's Idaho, so everyone is carrying out there, right? And so
Mhm.
literally every neighbor of yours, as you walk by their house, they've got their sniper rifle propped up in the window tracking you,
Yeah,
like, "Well, step 1 foot out of line, motherfucker, and I'll get
I
you.
fucking dare you.
I fucking dare you step on my grass one more time."
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I
I
mean,
hear that. I hear that. Like, there's a certain honesty in some neighborhoods where, maybe you gotta keep your eyes peeled, but you sorta know what you're dealing with, and there's a
yep.
fakeness in, I don't know, higher end neighborhoods maybe that feels alienating.
Yeah. Yeah, I call it the suburban jungle out here because it's fucking suburbia as far as you can walk in any goddamn direction, man, and trust me, I've tried. It's I've walked so much of it because I have a lot of energy, and so
Yeah,
I've gotta get out and do stuff, and so, I've walked just blocks and blocks in every direction and spent hours and hours walking, and it's just, houses as far as you can go, and
yeah,
so it's such a weird difference growing up in a town that was all nature, and then, moving down here to Boise, the capital, is where I first lived, and, hanging out with people who lived in just trailer parks and, apartment complexes that were just fucking horrible, um, places that
yeah.
always kinda smelled like cigarettes and meth. I remember a lot of the smell of cigarettes and meth.
Mm. I love the smell of cigarettes and meth in the morning.
Oh, man, and if you don't know what meth smells like, people, by the way, it kinda smells like a burning plastic, by the
Yeah,
way, with a little bit of, like, chemical smell, like, it's like burning plastic mixed with, like, bleach a little bit. Just
yeah.
in case nobody.
Never a good indicator. If you're smelling that smell, it means that you have stumbled into the wrong party, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. I did
Yeah.
always prefer the stoners, so I did end up hanging out with mostly just stoners, but stoners can be, pretty bad as well, most of my friends that I, grew up with and hung out with and stuff, have been in and out of prison and, they, aren't most a lot of them aren't really necessarily doing what you would call good with their life, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I recently dated a guy who, I didn't know I didn't know there was stuff going on, but the smell of meth. Oh, shit, hang on a second, I'm about to cough up a lung here.
You're good.
Hold, please.
May will be 10 years since I gave up cigarettes. Good job, Brandy. That's awesome. Well done. Yeah,
Oh
I
shit,
don't know
that's
how long
amazing.
it's been since I gave up cigarettes. I lost track, but I think it would be about 10 years or so as well. That's what I've been figuring, somewhere between 8 and 10 years. I'm not entirely positive because it was sometime around the time I was 30. I was like, I'm old enough. Like I've been smoking since I was like 14. Uh, 6 years, 16 years roughly of like 2 packs a day. I
Yeah.
should probably give it a break.
Yeah, no, I have a good friend who, when I met her, she smoked like a chimney, and she probably about 15 years ago now was like, okay, fuck, I've got to stop, and she did. It was really hard. Like she
Yeah.
really seriously, like she did the patches and the nicotine gum and everything. But she did it, man, and she hasn't smoked since. And so
Yeah.
it's a super hard thing to do. But if you can do it, it's amazing. It's worth it.
Yeah. So you were saying about your ex, your last relationship, because you were just recently in a relationship, but then today you just said you were single. So this is all recent, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was in a relationship for like 2.5 years with a guy in Seattle. And I here's the thing. Like, here's what I've learned over time. Like, people kind of freak out sometimes about the gay thing, and I'm like, gay relationships are literally exactly like like all of the issues, that you can imagine. Like, it's just all this. It's just people, right? And so, um, like I thought I was deep. I mean, I was deeply in love with him. I thought he was in love with me. I thought we were kind of building something together. And now, like, he did something in December that I was like, okay, man, that's just like that's a bridge too far. Like, that's just
Yeah.
we're not coming back from that. We're done. And it made me realize, oh shit, I think he's been lying to me for a really long time about a bunch of different stuff. And
Gotcha.
so it's one of those situations where Um, he told me about friends of his who had come over and they would smoke meth. And I was like, well, like, Jesus Christ, like, what's going on? Like, are you doing that? And he's like, oh, no, 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 I don't smoke. And now I'm kind of looking back and realizing, like, oh, no, I had been to his house and I had smelled the smell of meth. And
Yeah.
I, like, I think maybe somebody was lying to me for a really long time. So,
Yeah. That hurts.
yeah, it really does, because part of what you realize in that moment is, like my feelings for that person were real, but maybe his weren't. Like maybe everything was a lie, like it's just
Yeah.
one of those things where it challenges your assumptions about everything that you thought you believed.
Yeah. That is hard. Kimberly and I have been together 7 years as of the 30th of January.
Nice.
Um, and the relationship I had before her, I did care greatly about that woman. She ended up being married.
Ooh,
And so when I found that out, I tried to do the whole, okay, well, she loves me and not him. We'll end up together. We will, blah, blah, blah. And I tried to do that for a while, but it drove me kind of fucking insane,
yeah,
and I ended up hating myself. I ended up feeling like I was the bad guy, even though it was her who was the cheater, technically, but it still made me feel like a piece of trash.
right,
So eventually I had to cut that off, but it was hard because I really, like I said, I really did care about her. She was fun. She was the first person she told me, like, the first person to really like try to boost my ego. You know what I mean? Try to boost my confidence. And she like told me once, she's like, "You're so brilliant that if you ever actually figured out how smart you were, I'd fear you could take over the world." And I was like, "What the fuck? Holy
right,
shit!" Like, I was like, "Are you making fun of me?" I guess I
right,
didn't,
right.
because I'd never gotten any kind of compliment like that, even from like other people I'd been with and friends and stuff, and so, um, it made me, she was good like that, but then, just finding out she'd been married, obviously, the whole time because she was in a relationship she'd been in for, like, 16 fucking years,
Jesus.
so, yeah, it was pretty awful, so I understand, like, when you find out someone's been lying, you wonder the whole time, you're like, "Is everything they said just a fucking lie or what?"
Yeah, yeah, it was totally that. It was like was like, okay, wow, we were, like, because we were at the stage where, we'd been together for like 2.5 years. It was long distance, it was complicated.
Yeah.
But we were at the place where we were talking about, okay, well, if I move back to Seattle, like obviously we would live together, we'd move in together and, or maybe we both moved to Palm Springs and we live together, like we were planning for the future
Right. Yeah.
and, or at least talking about it, like talking about the idea that this was a possibility. And then to kind of have this realization. And I'm like, I do believe that he loved me, but I just
Right.
don't think it was to the same degree, and I think he was maybe lying to himself as much as he was lying to me. So, that makes
Yeah.
it weird and awkward.
Yeah, it does. And it is one of those things where like I've come to believe that like, because I have, 4 kids total. Two of them are my biological kids and then two are, Kimberly's and so but I just call them all mine
Right,
because I care about because that's the point is I care about them all very very much. I love all 4 of those kids. So I believe like you can love multiple people, but that doesn't mean that it's good for them.
right.
Like, I believe that she could have loved me and her husband, but that doesn't mean it was good for me or it would have been good for him if he would have found out. And they're
Yeah,
still married, so as far as I know, he never found out.
right.
And I'm not gonna be, the guy that goes and just resentfully because that's what it would have been, is it would have been this, like, resentment of, "Oh, you hurt me, and now I'm gonna rip your family apart," and so I never did. And so but, like, it is. It's definitely it's heart-wrenching, you wanna believe that someone who cares about you legitimately cares about you and the things they say are true, and then when they don't, it hurts. But I actually, I just thought about this, what made you move to where you're at actually?
So my mom is 84, right? And
Ah,
she is, she's still she's still all there mentally, she still drives and, I like to joke that she's like the ringleader of her old lady posse, like she's the one who drives everybody to their medical appointments and whatnot and like leads the book club and she's, she's a neat old lady and I I just always kind of promised that I would be here for like, the later part of her life. I
Yeah.
didn't want my sister to have to do that all on her own and um so I'd been in Seattle for 30 years and then I moved to LA for 2 and then when my relationship ended there, I was like, well, I could move back to Seattle or I could go actually follow through on this thing that I'd said I was going to do. And it just felt like the right thing. And I just kind of had this intuition, that I needed to be here. It turns out my mom was recently diagnosed with breast cancer and she's
Mhm.
fine. She had surgery. She's about to do her chemo. But, like, my intuition was I needed to be here for, you know, for this part of my mom's life, and I'm glad that I am. I'm glad that I followed that. So that's the reason that I moved. And also, like, to be really honest, a big piece of it is my career was collapsing, right? Like, my job, like, the things that I did in tech were some of the first things that AI started kind of taking over, and
Mm.
being Gen X and kind of being 55, being, my age in particular, there's real ageism in technology. And so
Yeah.
I was at a point where I was starting to like, apply for jobs and stuff, and I was hearing back from nobody. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, Indiana's way cheaper. Fort Wayne is sort of famous for being like one of the most affordable cities in the country. I was like, I guess it wouldn't suck if I, you know, moved here.
Yeah.
Um, so, basically I'm like rebuilding from here, but I get to be close to my family and see them on a regular basis, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is good. That is awesome, an awesome feeling to be able to take care of your loved ones and stuff, especially because I assume that your mom was a good mama. Sounds like she would have been.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I could tell stories about her, but honest, like all things considered, like it's one of those things, right? Where there were definitely moments growing up where I would have been like, I hate her, but as an adult, I look back and I'm like, oh no, 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 like she
Yeah.
was a really good mom,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
and like she may have had her moments, but she was fundamentally a great person. Like, I don't know, I kinda I really lately in particular have been kind of trying to take this big picture view of, like I'm a middle-aged white dude in 21st century America. Like it doesn't matter how little money I have in my bank account right now. I'm literally one of the richest people who's ever lived in human history, right?
Yeah.
Like all of us alive right now, even if we are poor, are
Yeah.
some of the wealthiest people who have ever lived. Like there are kings of yore who would have fought and died to live in a home like I live in, right? With the
Yeah.
technological wonders and the healthcare and the clean food and the clean water. And I don't
That's
know. I just keep trying to put things in that perspective, right?
Yeah. And that helps with gratitude. I mean, you're on a good step to like gratitude for even if you start thinking like that, then it's a little bit harder to bring you down. That's like
Right.
my mentality too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I am so like every day I try to tell her like, for the last like, 5 years or more now, every morning I walk my lady out to the car when she's leaving and I blow her a kiss goodbye. And I am just I consider myself so fucking lucky to have an amazing woman like her in my life who helped me get out of the last bit of toxicity in the people I was around.
Yeah.
And also gives me an opportunity to be able to go out to the curb and blow her a kiss goodbye,
Right.
and I'm so lucky. And you're right, like more lucky than so many people have been throughout history. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. Like I just, bad shit happens and I mean we could talk about politics and how bad shit is potentially going to happen here very soon in this country, but
yeah.
ultimately we're really fucking lucky this moment in time that we live in and the style in which we live, the fact that our jobs are basically hanging out on video cameras and microphones talking to each other, like how
Yeah.
fucking cool is that?
Yeah, that is, yeah, it is, and that's something I even sometimes I get down because I'd like to make more doing the writing and everything like that, but at the
Yeah.
same time, like I constantly am having to remind myself, like part of pursuing your dream means that you're pursuing your dream, you're not pursuing wealth. There's a big difference, and I've pursued making money and I've made good money in my life, um, uh, and so but like there's a difference because when I was pursuing money, then I knew like every single like I sold gardening products, which were just packs of seeds. I had my own brand and everything. I still have it, but it's such a back burner that I don't do it anymore.
Right.
But I made good fucking money doing that because people are always going to need seeds to garden and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, but that's all it was. It was money. I looked at every single pack as like a $5 bill, basically, because that's what it was.
Yeah.
And so but that's not how writing works. It's satisfying because I get to, like you said, I get to have great conversations with good people like you, and I get to sit in front of this camera, and I am lucky, very very lucky. And so yeah, it's a good mentality to have, and it's a hard one to get to sometimes, but it's good to have.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like I live in a state of gratitude, I mean, I should get there, but yeah, sometime every once in a while the clarity strikes and I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm actually pretty lucky in the scheme of things."
Yeah, yeah, me too. Well, we're at 103 now, so we've been on for an hour. Can you believe it?
Yeah, man, this was great. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's always fucking fun to talk to you. We need to have you back on the Daily Whatever show sometime really
Yes,
soon.
please. I would love that.
Yeah,
This time I won't come in an outfit or a beheaded person
hey
or
man, I thought that was one of our best shows ever, so, like, I'm personally rooting for that. You gave me an opportunity to play, right? Like, you should I think maybe I surprised you because I was like, "Oh, no, we're gonna play? We're playing, motherfucker.
yeah,
Like, you're gonna
you
play
did,
dress
yeah.
up? I'm gonna go along with it."
You did, you caught me off guard. I was expecting, like, when I did it to, the mouthy renegade rider, like, he was literally like, what it
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, improv. Well, no, we're doing
Yeah.
improv, man."
I've always wanted to do improv, but I'm kind of a scaredy cat, so
Yeah,
maybe
you
I
know
should
what?
get into it.
We should do a show. You and me, we're gonna do a show sometime here soon. Literally just an improv show. We're each gonna show up with a bunch of crazy ass shit written down, and we're gonna throw out scenarios to each other and just pretend like we gotta go for it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I love that. That sounds like
Right.
so much fun.
Right. And like it's going to be the total yes and thing, right? Like neither one of us is allowed to say, no, no, I'm not currently an alien on a spaceship, Kenyan. You
Yeah,
have
I
to
like
roll
that.
with it, right?
Yep, yep. You gotta keep it going no matter what. I
No
like
matter
that
what.
concept.
Exactly.
It's good for creativity too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's fun. Like you laugh, you make people laugh. What could be better?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll have to do that. I think people would enjoy that very much.
Yeah. I love it. All right. Good to see
All
you,
right.
man. Take care. Thanks for having
You
me.
too. Have a good
Bye bye.
day. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.